the tortillas.
Broke one in half. Which one did I break in half? Shuffle it.
Alrighty, so good morning. It is Tuesday morning. It's 9:20 and I've been sitting here for the last little bit. I'm working on the awards for our homeschool awards tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last day. We are not stopping completely like through the whole summer and then they don't go back till like the end of August. We are basically going to be taking like a few weeks of a break. And then we will pick up with what we will consider a summer term, like summer school, so that basically it's year round, so that they're not completely just out of school and that the next couple of months go to waste. I feel like with homeschool, especially, like our days are so short as it is that I just want to make sure that we're continuing education and that we're not just putting a complete halt on everything. So they will actually be using Me Academy through the summer. We just won't have a strict schedule where we're waking up super early and, you know, having to be out and to the library and all the different things. They will just be responsible for completing their Me Academy course load and their workbooks before they're able to really like do whatever for the day. But it's all virtual, so that should hopefully just keep everything moving, and then that way there's no like gap or real big break in their learning and in their education process. So I've been over here playing on Canva. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get dressed and started with the day. Haven't woken anybody up yet. Of course, Press is the only one that's up, but he's quietly in his room right now. So we're gonna let the dog out. We have to water the plants. The kids have little plants that they bought. So he's got a strawberry plant, and then Penelope has a tomato plant. So they've been inside of the house sitting in the windowsill, but I don't really think that they're thriving that well inside of the room. So we're gonna go ahead and take them outside and then get those watered. Not sure what we're doing for breakfast. Y'all, like, I need to go to the grocery store. Payday is not till tomorrow. It's been a really tight week. So yeah, but let's go ahead and get the day started. Getting back into the swing of things with vlogging. I actually found like some really dope creators' vlogs, and just watching them, it's always so motivating and inspiring, and it feels like, ooh, you know, I want to get back to vlogging. My toxic trait is thinking that I can vlog and edit the same way some of these people do, knowing good and dang well that's probably not the case. Nonetheless, definitely feel motivated to pick back up the camera and really just run my mouth a little bit. So prepare to be sick of me. So I have finished up the certificates for the kids. I'm going to present these to them tomorrow, and we're just going to have like a park day and super simple, fun day. So everybody's got several awards for the school year. So I've been trying to get back into a habit of getting into my Smart Girl Manifesting book. So I've just been moving through some of the pages and journaling a lot of the questions that are in here. So I'm just going to turn to the next page that I'm on and do a little journal entry really quick before I fully get started with the day. And this particular page is about clarity and manifesting and getting really clear about what it is that we want. Alrighty, we are dressed and ready for the day. It is just after 11:30. So we got to get Sissy to work at 3 o'clock. So we're actually going to have a late school day today. Tomorrow is our last day of instruction for like this term, like I said before. So kind of just playing it easy. I'm looking for something for breakfast right now. I think we're going to do oat bran or oatmeal. Not really sure. Just something super light and simple. Penelope wants to go to Juice It Up and buy herself a smoothie, she said. But not sure we're going to go and do smoothies yet today. I'm just listening to like a TikTok live and yeah. After hooking up breakfast and before moving on for the day, I sat down to my computer because I had to do some infographics for the nonprofit that I work for. Okay, so I just wanted to share one of the things that we were talking about the other day in my vlog was electional astrology. And that is having a specific time and date selected for an event or for something to take place. Electional astrology has been around for years and years and years and years. There's a saying or a quote. The quote says, "Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do." And supposedly, this is a quote by JP Morgan. And a part of the connection with that is just that you've got to know the right time, right date, and right place. So with electional astrology, say for example, you're getting married. And so this would be a technique that was used a long time ago where that marriage date would be selected based off of the energy that was presented in the sky at the present moment. So you could look at the astrology of a particular day and see what was going on that day. There are benefic planets and there are malefic planets in the system of astrology. And so what you would be looking for is really good auspicious energy that is happening in the sky. There's certain things that you wouldn't want to take place in the chart of the event. So that being said, for every event that happens, for everything that goes on, a chart can be cast and that becomes the lifeline or the chart of the event. So a natal astrology chart would be the day that you were born, the exact time, the exact date, and the exact location on the planet that you were born will give you the house information and the rising for your natal chart. This is very specific to you and you only. So no two people with the same astrological sign. So 2 people born under the sign of Scorpio, 2 people born on November 10th. It doesn't mean that their chart is going to be the same. It's not, because everything is constantly moving. So with an electional astrology chart, we are looking at the inception of a thing or the inception of an event, the start date of a thing. So for example, if you're starting a business and you're going to say start the process of the incorporation, or like in this case, starting the launch of a site, there's timing that the planets and the alignment of the planets can be really auspicious or not so auspicious, right? And so, for example, in the electional chart that we did for me, there was, at the time that I cast the chart, Saturn in the 8th house. That's not exactly ideal. All things considered, Saturn is a planet that delays or slows things down. But on the other hand, it's not a planet that particularly denies the thing. It just kind of slows it down, potentially putting some obstacles in the way of the final goal. But the overall energy of Saturn is structure and stability and longevity and foundational things, right? So if it's not being built on a strong foundation, then Saturn's energy there asks you to make sure that these things are sustainable. That's the energy that Saturn presents. So to have that in the house of other people's money probably isn't always the best idea. However, in this particular electional chart, it was coming off as not such a bad thing. The stability, the longevity, slowly but surely. And it really spoke to me in the sense of the fact that to be sure that I am doing this for the right reasons, to be sure that I am basing these things off of very solid intentions and solid foundations and a spiritual basis, being in the 8th house and being in the sign of Pisces. So it can get really, really deep, but I wanted to just kind of put that out there. And in case if you did not know or had no idea about electional astrology in general, what that is. And so it's interesting because when you kind of find out that like, wow, there's a chart of the moment for every type of moment of every event. When I first learned about it, I can remember going back to very specific dates or specific things that had happened. And you can see the chart of it. And in seeing the chart of it, you're able to basically kind of see not so much the outcome, right? This isn't about like just trying to see exactly what's going to happen, but you have an energetic print of what is going on. Every single day, there is not good energy in the sky. And so whether or not you quote unquote believe in astrology, and I'm not going to get into that conversation about astrology and religion and all of that stuff. Astrology is not a religion. It's not something that you have to believe in for it to be happening. However, the planets are moving. The stars are moving, the asteroids are moving, like as above, so below. There are things going on above us, and they do have an effect on what is happening here within the context of our lives as individuals and as a collective within this world. So that being said, it's nice to know when is a really great time to do something. And I think that's why the quote stands that billionaires use astrology, because when you are taking these gambles or there's lots of money on the line, rest assured people in high places have an astrologer on their payroll, because you've got to know when you're taking really huge risks, like, is this right? So I know for me personally, I have been feeling really, really pushed. I am very spiritually connected. I talk to God all the time. God speaks to me in the most subtle and beautiful ways and always has. I'm always given very specific words or phrases, and these are often words and phrases that I'm being told to work on throughout specific points in my life. And so very clearly, I have been sort of feeling this nudge and this push and this urge to, like, that there's something that I'm supposed to be doing right now within the grief community, that for me specifically, I am not going through things for myself, right? Not just to heal myself, but ultimately, like, to have a message to share, to bring hope and to bring light and inspiration to other people. And I've always known this about myself. I've always known. And there was a word that I got in the shower, and a lot of times that's when God and I have our big conversations. But there was one time in the shower very specifically where I very audibly heard, actually that's quite a bit of things that I very audibly have heard and that I have used and followed, like, throughout just different parts of my life. However, in this instance, this was years ago. It was back when we still lived at the house that you guys are all familiar with. And the words were, it's time to tell your story. Share your story. And I even have in a vision binder that I did in probably like 2018 or 2019 that I clipped out those very specific words out of a magazine, and I pasted them right in the center of the page in that vision board. And it says, share your story. And then share your story should be told, something like that. I'll find it and clip it in here somewhere to show you guys. But the whole idea was, those words jumped off the page at me when I seen them, because I knew very specifically that I had been given that word in some of my shower talk. And so I never knew, like, what I was supposed to be sharing, right? Like, share what story? Like, what story do I have that's worth sharing? What story do I have that's going to help people? And granted, I can probably pull a bunch of stories that can help people, all things considered. Like, I've been through a lot of different kind of like ups and downs and things in my life. And like, one thing about me, rest assured, like, I don't play about myself and God don't play about me either. Like, I'm always going to do what I have to do. I'm always going to journal and do the hard work and move my way through a circumstance and a situation. So help me if I can. Because I don't want to be down for the count. Like, I know I'm here for a bigger purpose than to just like live this mundane shit that we call life. So all of that to say, share your story was one of the biggest words that had been given to me. And I had really no idea what that meant or how I was going to do it. And so all of a sudden it came up again when I was thinking about all of this. And so at this point, this is like a culmination. Like, Shavonda dying was like the icing on the cake of like some really bad stuff. And so to be moving through grief, to be moving through the loss of a spouse, like, regardless of what our circumstances were or anything like that. I was married to that man for 9 years. I have 2 children with him. He was the father to my other 2 children. Like, we had a family and a life and a home and a world that was built together and that we existed in. And so coming out of that and unraveling that and learning how to be someone new it really speaks to my Scorpio energy of just really having to transform, of having everything demolished and broken all the way down, and being the phoenix that rises from the ashes. That even though my circumstances might have taken me all the way down to absolutely batshit nothing, like, I'm not losing my mind. I'm not, stuck in a deep state of depression. I'm not. Like, there's so many things that I could be, and I'm not. I'm healing, and I'm doing the work. And on top of that, I'm sharing that journey, and I'm reaching a lot of people, and I'm talking to a lot of people, and I'm really enjoying that. So anyways, all of that to say, I had been feeling the push, the call to really do something within the world of grief, and what to do. It was kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to really rush into anything. I want to gradually allow whatever is going to unfold to do its unfolding. And so I did think the concept of creating the Patreon as like a grief community and a space where people can hang out. It's a small membership cost, and that really is just so that I can put my efforts and concentrate my efforts into taking the time to create the worksheets and to do the journaling and to make the videos for that, because it's a lot of work even still to give back to other people. And so, I do have to get paid, but it's not robbery, But other than that, the electional timing was so perfect. When I talked to Ellie and we looked at the chart, and we looked at the chart on TikTok Live, and so there's 5 or 6 other astrologers that kind of come into her lives all the time, and we've kind of formed this cute little online friendship. Like, whenever she's live, we're always in the chat. And so according to everybody, like, everybody was giving their opinions of what they saw in the chart and what they felt like. And so stuff that Ellie might have missed, there were others that were there to kind of see it. And so it all just really looked good. And she was just like, oh my goodness. And so I was getting goosebumps like the whole time that she's talking to me, because I'm just like, wow, if this isn't a perfect example of like just how much bigger this world is than we could even like realize or imagine, and like just how real like the presence of God is in all things. It was so dope. And so basically we elected a time, and so there were 3 different times that I was given, and one of them was very specific to like, okay, if this is a business launch, this is a better day to do it for a great outcome. If this is about helping people, this is a better day to do it. And after like 2 days of sitting with it, I realized that for me, this is about helping people. And I've always been taken care of. And I believe that I will always be taken care of. And I believe that it is the genuineness of me helping people and just being devoted and structured and solid in that will eventually bring any return on investment that I may or may not be looking for. And I think that definitely fits that Saturn that was in the 8th house of the chart. Everything else in the chart was so auspicious. It was so good. And so I'm really super excited about that, to see just how that's going to flourish, and how not only am I going to be able to kind of be a beacon for other people, but how it's going to support me as I continue going on in this space as well. So anyway, just wanted to pop and share that little tidbit with you guys. I'm holding my camera with my hand and my arm is shaking like crazy. So I'm going to put this down. I'm actually going to go and check on Michaela. I think she's in the kitchen making something for dinner. I'm not really sure, but I should probably go and check just to make sure that, we're not going to burn the house down or anything. doing okay. It started turning brown, starting to get a little bit hot. This is my bell pepper, and it had a little flower on it, but I'm not sure what happened to it. Some green onion, and this is some thyme that was completely dead, and then it had one little green leaf on it, and so I kept it because I was like, no, it's not dead, there's green on it. And now look, it's thriving. It's got flowers and everything. This is Preston's strawberry plant. This is my mint. I'm gonna water it anyway just to see what happens. It was doing really, really good, and then I didn't water it for a few days, and it was pretty warm outside, so now it's looking kind of dry. But one thing I know about mint for sure is that mint grows like crazy, so I'm not gonna give up on that just yet.
Like, I put them out and then I garlic them and then I put them back because I realized once you put them in the butter and garlic, they get softer. That's why they're a little burnt. But other than that, they should be crispy than the last one. Will be so good. I gotta go back and make extra. That I wasn't.
Look at her.
Listen though, you
Trying
should
to
be
hoard.
happy because if you become,
I know I'm a good cooker.
If
I
you
know
get
I
on-
can become
listen,
a chef. I don't care what
if you
gotta
get on
say.
Master Chef, you can promote your chefing business if you win, and then a lot, and I mean a lot of people
Your
will
chefing
come to your
business.
business, and then you'll be famous and rich and a really good chef, and I'll be coming there every day.
I know
Breakfast,
you
lunch,
cook it.
dinner,
I know you will.
and I'm gonna eat it because it's gonna be good because you cooked it.
All right, oh my God. I had to take those Bantu knots out of the top of my hair. Like, literally, they were killing me. Like, I feel like it's so tight right here. Like, it feels so tender and sore, but like my head has been hurting, or like my scalp has been hurting most of the day because of them. So anyways, it wasn't like I really did much special today. I did take some pictures. I just thought it was a cute hairstyle for the day. But first of all, can we just talk about these locks for a minute? Like, are they giving? I feel like I should curl the whole thing. I want to get like some of those perm rod curlers so that I can like curl the whole thing and see if it holds up or how it looks. Like, these aren't really curly anymore. They're starting to fall like a lot. But anyways, like, the locks are locking, you guys. It is, oh my God, it's been 2 years already. I think this October it'll be 3 years locked. And then this really long one that I started a long time ago, and this one's like 5 years old. So I remember when this one was like teeny tiny, but it's grown out like a lot. So I think they call it a wisdom lock when you have one that's like really super long. But anyway, my head is hurting. Like, I just feel like massaging it a little bit. But it is 9:48, and I've been binge watching Grey's Anatomy for the last, like, I want to say maybe for the last week now. For whatever reason, I've been up at night again. Like, I have not been sleeping very well. I've been literally staying up watching Grey's Anatomy until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then finally like crashing out, and then I'm up again at 6:30, sometimes 5:30, other times maybe 7:30, but it doesn't seem like I've been able to sleep any later than like 7:30. So I don't know what's up. I don't know why I'm not sleeping all that well, but I've been back into this show. I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy as far as being like caught up since 2020. So I was fully caught up like every episode all the time. And then when 2020 came, I feel like the show didn't start again until later in the year that year or something like that ended up happening, I think. And I feel like when they came back on air, like, they were talking a lot about like a lot of their episodes were being based off of like COVID and the hospital and all that stuff. And I was like not in a position. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing that has to do with anything about this damn pandemic. And so I didn't end up watching. But I picked it back up recently, so I'm on season, I don't even know what season I'm on, let me not even start lying, but basically I've picked it back up. So I'm whatever season they were on in 2020 when I stopped watching, I've started from there. And then, you know, Grey's Anatomy, if you guys are watchers of Grey's Anatomy, there's like 20 or 23 episodes or something like that per season. So it's a lot, and I've been on the binge, and I don't know why I torture myself every single night, because literally every episode of Grey's Anatomy has me in shambles, and I'm like crying and like all extra emotional. And so I don't know, whatever, maybe I'm in need of some cathartic releasing. But so I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna eat. Michaela made these cute little like potato ball things in the air fryer, garlic potato balls. I'm not really sure. She saw the recipe on TikTok, but they're super good. So she has made me some. I picked Sissy up from work, and so I'm about to sit down, change my clothes into my pajamas, binge my show, and I will catch you guys mañana. You're right. I'm right enough.
Yeah, aside from low vitamin D levels and some ligament